and welcome to your practice. Today, if you've got blocks, bring them along. They're not necessary if you don't have them, but you could find them a bit helpful. We're going to be doing a bit of a side plank practice, Vasistasana, and seeing how we can help ourselves to find that full Vasistasana where you're holding onto something on your leg, traditionally the big toe, and you're finding this full extension. It's not easy, but maybe we can prepare our bodies today during our practice leading up to that and throughout our little Vasistasana attempts to make it a bit easier on ourselves. So let's get started in a comfortable seat. You could sit in your block or a bolster or a pillow if you've got that. Cross-legged, and let's just take a moment to find our breath. So settle and arrive, rolling through the shoulders as always. Up, back and down our spines, filling up the lungs, and starting to grow more aware of how our bodies feel and our breath and how good our breath feels. Can you find your stillness here and with soft gaze or your eyes closed, just start to deepen that breath. Can you feel your ribs expanding as you inhale? And let your exhalations be even longer than the in-breath, pausing at the bottom. Visualize that the sides of your body can lengthen as you inhale here. And as you exhale, visualize all the muscles around your core naturally engaging. Twice more, breathing softly but deeply in and out through the nostrils. Place left hand over heart space and your right hand over left. And for today's intention, can you commit to the reminder that yoga asana is a practice and not a performance? It's not about validating any external expectations or impressions or even shapes you see. It is about actually a lot of invisible stuff. You can't see it to the eye. Your inner growth, your personal growth, your connection to self, your inner awareness, and maybe more. But that's up to you to decide. On your out breath, just bow in towards yourself with that commitment to the practice and not the performance. Then let's float our eyes open, stretch arms to the side and up to the sky. Today, we're focusing so much on length through the body. So as you exhale, reach your arms far out and wide and then down to your sides. Let's do this twice more. Moving long and tall with each inhale. And as you exhale, bringing it back in. Once more. And knowing that our intention today, it's because when we are trying to fulfill any craving or expectation we have, we're really being led by desire. And that's not what our yoga practice should be about. It should be about learning more about ourselves, about a deeper sense of transformation. From here, when you're seated in a cross-legged, let's hug our left leg towards us. And as if you're rocking a baby, bring the foot into the inner right elbow crease. Try to sit as tall as you can and just notice any tightness, easing into it from this very first kind of movement into the hips. And sitting as tall as you can you grab a hold the outside of that left foot with your left hand and just extend the leg out towards the sides, holding onto your right shin and pulling it towards you to sit tall. Just a couple times, like an elastic band, just warming it up. And then placing the left leg down and switching to the right leg. Cradling it and rocking it like a baby. And then a couple times, stretching out the elastic band and seeing where we get. Knowing that if you are pushing your body beyond what it's prepared to do, it can lead to injury. And what we want in our yoga practice is to be able to sustain it, right? Sustainability. We're going to find a yogi squat. So plant your feet down, turning your toes out, but help yourself to come up. And you might be a bit higher than here. Your heels might be lifted a little bit, and that's fine. Just ease into the hips, rocking side to side. If you've got blocks, please use their height at any point during the class and during any pose to help yourself. Moving into the spine as well here. Now plant your palms down and step your feet all the way to the back of the mat. Finding yourself in a plank position, make sure your fingers are spread out wide. Let's draw some circles over these wrists. And then reverse your circles. Gently lower your knees down. Keep your core activated and then lower all the way to your belly. As you breathe in, rise to cobra and stretch the front of the hips, the heart, the belly. We're briefly visiting all these kind of poses just in our warm-up. Exhale to child's pose. Rest the forehead down. Take a moment, feeling the deep hip flexion. Come up into downward facing dog and shift your hips side to side like you're wagging a tail. Now bend both your knees and send both heels over towards the right. Stay in pause. Press down through both arms. You're twisting the spine out here. Come through center. Both knees are bent. Heels go to the left. Push through arms, twisting like a pretzel in this direction. Come through center. And once again, shimmy your hips side to side, but maybe you take it further and come into a little bit of a side plank here. Lifting one arm off the ground, then through down dog, we shift to the other side. Lifting the side body to the sky, maybe the heart reaches to the sky. Let this be a full body awakening. Once more on each side. Enjoy. Starting to find more length through the body. Feeling in through the shoulders. Beautiful. Through downward facing dog, walk your feet to the top of the mat to frame your hands to find malasana, that deep yogi squat once again. Bring elbows to the insides of the knees, palms to the heart. And here, as you push your knees out with your elbows, can you start to engage the glutes to kind of bear the responsibility of the pose? Deep breath here. Plant your palms once again. Turn your toes front, and we're just going to stretch the legs, relax the head, bend the knees and the heart front. Just a couple times like this, working into the hamstrings, and maybe heating up some muscles along the way. Inhale as you lift your head, exhale as the hips go high. And maybe these legs get more comfortable, growing straighter and straighter. Then we do 4 more. 3, 2 more, final one. Come to yogi squat, inhale. Exhale, hands plant down. Step your right foot far back and just rock front and back. Lower the back knee down, reach your left arm to the sky, twisting to the leg. And then dive into the ocean or the pool in front of you. Inhale, open, twist to the leg. You could stay like this in a twist, or gently nudge the left knee open so you come into the outer edge of the left foot and feel maybe a bit more opening for the hips. A hip opening, I guess it is a opening or a hippening. Plant the left foot back down, hands come down, push your back or send your back knee further back on the mat and just send hips all the way back. As you walk your hands back, you could bring your blocks with you. Let's find a straighter left leg, lift the left toes up And as we exhale, we kind of bow into it, into the tightness. Ease and work into the body here. Use your breath. Inhale, rise, find a bit more space. Exhale, we fold, but that leg stays strong and engaged. Beautiful, bending the front knee, plant your palm, step your right foot to the outside of the right hand, finding Malasana squat. Then point your toes front. Once again, we send hips up, and then we find our squat once again, a couple times. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Turn your right toes out, left toes out, hands come down, step your left foot back, and let's rock. Really enjoying the opening from this left hip here. Turn to the right, right arm reaches up, and then dive into the ocean in front. Inhale, open. Lower the back knee, and you can nudge this right knee away from you. Maybe accessing a different part of the hips here. Right foot stamps down, bring your right hand down. Move your left knee further back, and let's find a bit of this half Hanuman kind of shape. Finding a bit of stretch in the right hamstring. We inhale as we find some length, and as we exhale, we fold a bit into this right leg. Staying in movement of breath. Beautiful, bending right knee. Let's find Malasana squat again. Can you squat so low that you can sit your bum down? And then we're gonna roll onto our backs and find ourselves in happy baby. So knees stay close to our armpits. Grab a hold of the outsides of your feet. And as we gently pull the legs towards us, the knees towards the floor, can you try to keep your pelvis, your tailbone anchored to the ground? Let's use our breath to find some space in this stiffness. Maybe extend one leg, then the other. And then I'd like you to familiarize yourself with the feeling of hooking your fingers, your peace fingers and your big toe. So hook your second and your third fingers into your big toe. And then once again, try to extend one leg and then the other. Beautiful. Bringing knees in towards your chest. We're going to roll onto one side, lengthen through the bottom leg, and then rest on your other arm. You could rest on your palm and try to keep your hips stacked here and press down into the ground with your bottom foot, little toe. Now glide your top toes, your top leg up your inner thigh, and see if you can find this kind of tree shape, but we're on our side here on the ground. Keeping the hips open. Now this might be good where you want to stay. Otherwise, try to hug this right knee high up and towards your chest, keeping the hips open, and see if you could hook once again, peace fingers into the big toe. Get comfortable here with what the body is doing to get yourself to this position. Next step is to try and lengthen the leg. Take it in steps or in repetitions up to the sky. Bend and lengthen. And then stay with the leg towards straight. Now if you can't find your toes here, you could hold on to your kind of calf, or you could hold on to your toes with knees bent. And now can we work on finding length and openness? So our body's going to want to roll back, and that's fine. It's going to want to do that in our Vasistasana as well. Can we start to send hips front, tucking tailbone under, finding some length in the back body as well, behind the shoulders. And that's enough. Let's rebend, lengthen through the legs, and roll into the other side. I'm just going to roll my mat. Same thing. Here, pressing down through the bottom foot, glide that other leg up, finding this tree pose, and then hooking through the big toes, getting that left knee high up your left shoulder, and then playing around with finding some length through the leg. And then seeing if we can stay in our balance and start to open up the hips, the body to the front and the back. Breathing into it. Maybe gently pulling the leg towards us if there's space and the body feels ready. And then rebend and extend. Roll onto your back and find yourself in that happy baby position again. Hugging knees towards armpits. We're going to try and roll all the way up into a Tadasana. Ta-da! Now toes might be pointed out. Let's face them forwards about hips distance. Take a moment to familiarize with standing tall. Hold your right hip and reach your left arm up and over. Let's sneak in a nice side body stretch here. Then come up and over to the other hip. Take it to the other side. Wonderful. Through center, we're going to start with our left leg. So hug the left knee in and just get grounded through this right leg. Glide your hand down the left leg and see if you can hike that foot up the inside of the right inner thigh, engaging through the right inner thigh muscles as well as we find our tree pose. Once you're there, enjoy the open hip position. You can reach arms out to the sky or an Anjali Mudra at your heart. Let's bend through this right knee, untree your tree, and you're going to step all the way back, keeping this open hip position to a warrior two. So left toes are going to stay out, stamping down. Bring your torso over your hips and your arms wide, looking past the fingertips. Find a bit of a pulsing movement here through the legs. Can we get that deep breathing into the belly once again? Beautiful. From here, we're going to place right hand to the outside of your right foot. Now, if you can't reach, you could use that block on its lowest level or even its higher level, but we're going to be switching this up very soon, so I encourage the lowest level for today. From here, try to keep hips open. Notice if you're rounding over. Try to really encourage left hip over right, opening up the belly, the ribs, the chest. Wonderful. From here, you're going to stamp your left foot down into the ground and then lift your right foot off the ground and cross the right ankle over your left. Squeeze your inner thighs and reach your left arm overhead. Then we're going to place left hand on the ground, roll over the ball of the left foot so that you're on the knife edge of the left foot, and lift your right knee and your right fingers to the sky. Push the ground away, and if you fall back with the right foot, that's okay. Spread your left fingers out, push through the left shoulder, and see if you can hold on to your right knee, finding that tree position. Beautiful. From here, make your way into plank. Then you can lower knees or not, lowering to belly on exhale. Inhale, find your cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, let's meet in downward facing dog. Feel your fingers, and can you really press into the fingers rather than just pushing into the base of the wrists? Push the ground away. Lift your feet, bend your knees. Can we do a playful hop to the top of the mat? Inhale, lift halfway up. And exhale, take a fold and stay. Grab a hold of opposite elbows. Shift the weight forward so that your weight is more in the balls of your feet than the heels. Relax shoulders, relax head. And just breathe some encouragement of length into the backs of the legs. Release elbows, bend through knees, and slowly roll up. Shoulders roll back, head lifts. Now balancing on left foot, hug your right knee in. Give that ankle a couple circles. And then setting up for a tree on this side. So I like to grab a hold of the top of the ankle, place it high up the left inner thigh, and as we situate ourselves, that left leg is staying strong. It's not just like a passive pillar there. It's working to help you. So you'll notice your left toes are kind of moving around. Your left inner thigh should be really engaged, pressing in against this right foot, and our arms choose to go where feels right for us today. Maybe closing eyes to challenge our balance. Can you encourage deep breathing, even through the adversity of the pose, the asana? Beautiful. Bending this left knee, gently untree this pose. Why haven't I found a better word for this? Unslip your right foot from the left inner thigh. No, that's not the right verb. And let's step it back with this open hip position to a warrior two. Take your time to adjust, to find your warrior, opening arms and enjoying. Then placing left hand to the outside of the left foot. And if you've got the block, you can place it on that block for a bit more height. Trying to encourage length here. And why I kind of switch our Vasistasana is because notice how this left knee is so close to our left shoulder here. We're working the muscles in this left hip, the left thigh so much, so might as well take advantage of that warmth to encourage our opening in our Vasistasana. From here, press down through your right foot, your left hand, lift left leg off the floor and hook it in front of your right ankle. Squeeze inner thighs and create a banana shape. Right arm across your ear line. Deep breathing. Place your right hand on the floor. Pivot on your right foot to the other side and lift your left knee up, up, up. Left arm reaches up to the sky. We find a sense of weightlessness if we can. Maybe you can kiss left knee with your left fingers. Maybe you can hold on to the left knee and encourage that opening even more. Pushing ground away as much as possible. Let's find a vinyasa, coming to plank. Your vinyasa of choice, maybe a chaturanga is what you're wishing for. Remember, yoga is not about what you see. It's not about the skin. That's where it starts. But it's about all the layers, the koshas underneath. Most of the work is invisible to the eye. From your down dog, let's lift heels, bend knees, look forwards. Take your playful hop, or you can walk to the top. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hug yourself in. Beautiful. Inhale, let your heart guide you all the way front and up. As you exhale, hands come in prayer to your heart. Left knee comes up. Immediately find tree pose, but we're not staying for long. Just take a moment to find this balance. And then we're actually going to keep our hips open like this. Hook your left peace fingers into your left big toe. You could bend this right knee if you need to. Bring the left knee high up to your left shoulder. Stand tall on your right leg. And begin to extend it out to the side. See how that feels. And maybe one side is more flexible than the other. Maybe your one leg or one arm is shorter or longer than the other. So please, do not judge yourself and really meet yourself with compassion here. This is about play. Maybe we can hold it for a little bit. Beautiful. Rebend that knee. Now just grab a hold of the knee, keep it open, standing tall. Let's make our way into half moon. So we're going to keep this open hip position, lengthen the left leg behind us, and then find right fingertips on the floor or on your handy block. And then start to open up hips and chest more to the side, lifting left arm up Enjoy this feeling of expansion and length in all directions. Like you are a star and your energy is not able to be contained. Let's bend this right knee, but just so much so that you can land left foot back. Then send hips back and find Trikonasana. Right leg is stretched, right toes are lifted. And if you've got your block with you, that's real handy here so that you can stay really high up and open. Beautiful. Bending right knee. This time we're not going to come into that one side plank and then to the other side plank. We're going to place left hand down, lift left heel up. Let's spin to the right for a moment. Right arm reaches up. Now you have the option to place the block underneath your left hand and to practice this Vasistasana with a bit more lift. Maybe it's a bit easier for you. Or you could just try it out with no props. That's also fine. Now, I encourage you to either come through it the way we were with a tree in our Vasistasana, or try and hook onto that right big toe as you start, as you pivot to the outer edge of this left foot, right knee towards shoulder, towards armpit, and see if you can extend the right leg up, up, up. Lengthening through the left side of your body, more and more, the front side of your body and the back. This is no joke. And maybe we come out, we find a different version that feels better in our skin. Roll into your vinyasa or take your rest, okay? So important here as well with all these side planks to be mindful of our wrists, how all the other components of our body are being worked here. Take a moment in rest. And because I mentioned wrists, make your palms into fists and just circle out these wrists a little bit. Give them a bit of love. Wonderful. Coming through downward facing dog, lift heels, bend knees, hop your way to the top. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise with your heart. Exhale, palms in towards your heart. Right knee comes open, finding tree briefly. Left hand can hold your hip. Then finding the big toe. Bringing the right knee as high up as you can, keeping it open. Then playing around with extending it open to the side. Maybe both arms reach. When ready, rebend the knee. We're keeping the hips open. We're gonna just transition the left hand down. Right leg extends behind you. Find the ground or the block, then open up to the right. Right fingertips to the sky. Bend your left knee, land your right foot back, and then just bringing left hand closer underneath your left shoulder. Send hips back, lengthen through the left leg, finding your Trikonasana here. Preparing this left leg for maybe that hook, that toe hold on the other side. Bending the left knee, right hand comes down, right heel lifts, turn to twist to the left. Now you could place the block underneath the right hand or without. I find it's a bit easier with. As we roll to the outer edge of the right foot, I'm going to hook this left big toe. Bring that left hip above your right. Play around with extending the left leg to the sky and seeing where your limitations are, noticing how it is on this side. And it's all about practice and seeing where does your body kind of take you, right? And that's fine. Even just that observation, it's a part of your journey. Let's all meet for vinyasa or your rest. Walk your feet halfway up the mat, hips distance. Walk your fingertips towards your feet. Inhale for length. And as we exhale, let's slide our hands under our feet and let our toes massage the base of the wrist here for a little massage. Our wrists were in so much extension, so here they're just in a bit of nice counterpose flexion. And as we exhale, maybe we fold into ourselves, the final little embrace. Shake your head, no. Shake your head, yes. Let's release hands. Come to sit on our bums. Cross your legs for a moment to sit upright. Let's sweep these arms front and up, and then back stroke them behind us. Interlace your fingers. Press palms together and reach your knuckles away from you. Send your heart to the sky. As you exhale, round up and over through your spine, reaching that knuckles up and over. Then releasing arms down your back. Let's twist to the right. Coming through center, twist to the left. Coming through center, we're going to make our way straight into Shavasana. But obviously, you can extend your practice. Go ahead, pause V, do your wheels, do your handstands, your headstands, your supine twists, whatever it is you like to practice. Maybe heading into Vasistasana a couple more times and working with the wrists. You do you. This is your practice. And when you're ready, please do end with a bit of rest in your Shavasana of choice. I'm going to go for full Shavasana, legs and arms extended out besides me. Take a deep breath in, everyone. Exhale and let that exhalation take you heavier and softer into the ground. Let soft waves of breath ease in and out of your body. And I leave you here in this Shavasana with the one hope that you take your intention with you off the mat into the rest of your day, and that you bring this yoga approach to all other practices of your life. That your life experience, as seen through the yoga lens and the yoga practice, is not about look at what I can do, but about knowing what you can do, knowing what you can't do yet, and knowing how much more there is to learn, to experiment, to try, to fail with, and being excited and ready to be playful with it and to be humbled by it every single day, every single time. Thank you so much for joining me today, for wobbling on the mat and trying something super difficult, at least it is to me, and I'll see you next time.